Yeah, dude.
Yeah, what fucking shit, guys? How the fuck are you doing, man? How are you doing? Welcome to Yeah, Dude podcast, where there's a bunch of guys trying to make you guys laugh. So thank you for listening, and keep coming back, like, subscribe, and all that shit. Today we got, Chad. We know Chad. Say what's up.
What's going on, fellas? Sorry, I'm texting the quote-unquote hoes.
One hoe? Two hoes?
One hoe.
Oh, one hoe.
Ain't no.
When you refer to your hoe as a hose, that's what means she's so hot she's pluralized, right?
Yeah, well, I'm texting my mom, so.
Your mom, yeah.
The true hoe.
It's Mother's Day tomorrow.
It is Mother's Day. You guys doing anything for Mother's Day?
Send a card.
Yeah, I mean later in the day.
I drop off a card at the house.
Oh,
for some flowers, probably.
That's good.
Maybe not on Mother's Day. Maybe like at some point throughout the week.
You're a piece of shit son.
I'm not the best. I'm the youngest child of three, though, so she lets it slide.
Oh, do you have like younger?
You fucking youngest children. You guys are different.
Do you have younger child syndrome?
I think so.
Like you're like you victimize yourself.
Definitely.
You do.
Yep.
You little bitch, third kid.
Yeah.
You have three, two.
Youngest of three.
Youngest of three.
Three boys.
What is it about the youngest always getting like super babied? I never understood that because I'm a middle child, so I did not get it that good.
I think it's because they're always getting bullied by the older ones. So like the parents
just getting the shit beaten out of them by the older two.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, my sister did get fucked up by us a couple times.
Yeah,
younger. Yeah.
So I love my sister though; she's great. But we used to it was pillow fights where I would full on Aaron Judge swing at her. Like,
oh yeah.
That's what parents like. They hit the oldest with the hardest stuff because they should know better, and then they baby the child. They don't understand that we're just getting fucked after they get punished for our stuff, because then the older one's coming after us.
Yeah,
like we're getting all the fucking repay that we deserve and more.
I got straight middle child treatment, so like I definitely caught it from my parents, but it wasn't like. I mean, it is what it is. I feel like oldest children, they get it bad if they're kind of a shitty kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the middle kid, because I was the middle, I feel like you get it the best. They pay attention to you the least. Like you can kind of just like skater, like you're kind of like sneaky in the middle.
Yeah.
Like,
the oldest one, it's like we have to keep an eye on him because he's a fucking shithead. The youngest one, it's like we got to make sure they're good. The middle one was just there.
Just there, yeah.
He holds it down.
Yeah.
I had my mom was a probation officer for 21 years while I was growing up. So like, like as a kid, I couldn't get away with shit. Like every single time I tried to do something, it was always like immediately caught.
Yeah. Well, visitation would have been real easy. So I don't know what that's about.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Bridgeport.
Fucking Bridgeport, dude.
Yep.
What a place.
Yeah, we're only known for getting a shout out from Family Guy for stray dogs, like having the world's most stray dogs, and gas stations without pumps, which was like the biggest thing in the city for a little bit because it's extremely accurate. Like,
wait, gas stations without pumps?
Yeah, for a while we just had gas stations that literally the pumps were down, so they didn't have gas in them, and it was like a while. It would either be the pumps are down, or it was literally just like a standalone store. Where it was like supposed to be a gas station.
Oh, but they just like couldn't afford gas.
So they turned it into a store or whatever they did.
So they're selling Lucy's and crack pipes instead.
Pretty much.
It's a gas station that sells it by the little red
How
tank.
much are Lucy's these days? Anybody know? They're probably like $1 now, I feel like.
Yeah, I remember when they were 50 cents. When I was like 16,
50
17.
cents back when I was in high school. There used to be a place right down the street, Goodies Mart. 25-cent bag of chips and a 50-cent cigarette.
It was a lot of places in Bridgeport that you can go and get Lucy's.
Yeah.
The one thing I couldn't get was blunt wraps though when I was younger. Like they always, for some reason,
they wouldn't sell you.
They would not sell blunt wraps. Like they wouldn't in certain places. Like they just wouldn't sell you blunt wraps.
When did they change
like
the age
you,
to
or they
21?
just didn't sell them at all?
They didn't sell them at all. They wouldn't sell them to me or like people who were underage. Like that was the thing. Like Lucy's, you can get randomly like in a corner store. They didn't change the age to 21. Until
like 2020, I think 2019, because I went to mass in 2019 and my buddy got denied, and I had just turned 21. He was like 3 days behind me, So he had like 3 days to go in Mass. It's like, I can't sell you cigarettes. You're not 21.
Well, yeah, Mass has shit laws for tobacco stuff. Like,
yeah, they don't even sell Newports in no, they don't sell menthol cigarettes in Boston.
Yo, that's the blackest shit I've ever heard. You got upset they didn't sell Newports?
Oh, I wasn't upset about it, but I did hear about that. I can imagine there'd be a lot of upset people about it.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a fucking.
But if you ever go to Boston for a show or something, pick up a carton of fucking Newports, probably can sell them.
Yeah, it's like your merch over there.
Yeah, that's literally how Henry and Tommy got pinched in Goodfellas, was selling cigarettes on the back of a car.
Oh yeah. I love Goodfellas. Goodfellas is a great fucking. Is that the one where they're looking at the painting? Joe Pesci, they're at his like
one's going this way, one's going that way. Yeah. Good. Like Scorsese is an incredible director. There's something about that guy. Like he's definitely top 10 for me, at least.
I think Wolf of Wall Street's my favorite movie of his.
Is that Scorsese as well?
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street is fucking good.
So it's worth the 3-hour watch.
Is it 3 hours?
It's like 2 hours and a half.
Yeah, they just do such a good job at being fucked up. Like acting,
and it's funny as hell.
Oh, it's very.
It's like a black comedy.
Yeah,
it's fucking great.
Like, Jonah Hill took a huge pay cut for that.
Yeah,
he was supposed to get all the the offer was like for all this. He's like, listen, just give me like less than half of that. I just want to be in a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Really?
Yeah. Which probably fucked him because what a great movie.
But it did better for his career after that.
Yeah, he ended up getting so much more shit.
This is his last fat role.
He's a good because he's
he's still got fat roles.
He's a legit good actor.
But Wolf of Wall Street's great. It's like I went to a white private high school after being like all black environment when I was younger.
You went to all white private high school?
What is this, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Probably 30 black kids in my school.
Really?
Yeah, but what I was going to say was, because we were just talking about Wolf of Wall Street, like basically the kids that I went to school with were the children of that generation of Wall Street, because a lot of them were like really rich and like their dads like worked in stocks or their dads worked in law with all that stuff. And so, like, those kids, like, those parents raised some real asshole kids.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like it's got to be really hard. Your parents have to be very good people to make sure, like, kids from, like, wealth don't turn out to be shitheads. Because, like, if you don't, like, parent those kids and you just let them run into the world, they're going to turn into dicks.
Yeah, Jaden
because they're automatically going to feel like they're better than everybody.
Yeah, dude, it's a weird thing. You almost see these kids come out with a sense of, like, I'm the greatest just because mommy told them. And it's like, well, mommy's kind of a fucking liar. She drinks wine half the day. I don't think you should trust mommy's advice.
Unless she's telling you to fucking get on your knees and hit that shit. I don't know what that means.
Mother's Day is tomorrow, guys.
That's some white shit for sure.
Yeah, only white people fuck their moms.
Yeah, you went to a white private high school. You went to a white pride high school, right?
I feel like if anybody went to a white pride high school here, it might be you. Like,
yeah, you do look like you're.
Windsor Locks is a lot darker than people think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys had 40 black kids.
Well, they don't live in town. They all come from Hartford. Usually.
I think they're
exactly. That's how bad it is. You guys have to bus in your diversity.
Yeah.
I think there's more Puerto Ricans and Spanish-speaking people in my high school than anyone else. I feel like that was the majority in my high school.
Do you know any Spanish?
Okay.
Pasa?
Fucking got him.
I got him good, dude.
Look at that.
I used to be able to speak a little when I was like traveling and stuff because I was in Spanish-speaking places. Like
they say, watch TV. If you're in a country you're trying to learn the language, watch TV.
That's what I did to help myself to I would watch Spanish movies with English titles before, like, just to get like used to hearing it and stuff like that.
I didn't learn how to speak it, but I got wicked good at reading.
I watched it. I just got racist.
Can any of you guys speak another language?
I understand some Spanish, but I don't really speak it like that well. And then I understand some Italian too, but I don't speak it well at all.
I feel like it'd be so cool to be able to fucking speak another language. Because I heard
you can do that, right? Like you can there's
I could, but
it has to be worth it.
It's the time and energy. I don't really have enough reason besides wanting it.
Yeah,
I have the motivation
to have
put the work in.
Yeah, I also it's got to be French, worth it though. Yeah.
I mean,
French is the most worthless one in America.
I took French from 7th grade till I took French from 7th grade till the end of high school because I have a French last name. I thought it would be a cool thing to know. I have no French people to talk to and practice my
French.
How
many French people
I forgot it all. Yeah. I know how to read it, and if I watch a French film, I kind of understand what's going on. If you hand me French wine, I know how to pronounce it. Hey. But beyond that, I'm not a conversational Frenchman.
So basically, you just know how to flex in French. That's all you.
Basically, I know how to pronounce my own last name.
Yeah, fucking. What's cool about learning other languages, though, so I hear from people that speak a lot of other languages, is like, it's like you become like that version of you in that language. Like you can't be entire. Like you speak.
Dude, my friend's Spanish
like the language
voice was
has
so
a culture
funny.
to it, like because it's like language is crazy like that.
My
like,
friend would read in Spanish class, and he would code switch between the two languages. So it'd be like, all right, read the passage. Okay, yeah. So I'm about to read the passage. Muy tango, just like
that's what
turned into it.
But that's
lively.
That's what I'm saying. Though.
You get to the word
I don't know
black
what
and
it
get
is,
real
but
aggressive.
it's like people who you don't think would sound like it end up sounding like a Telemundo fucking caster, like newscaster all the time. They're just like Sábado Gigante, like out of nowhere.
You end up being the Spanish fucking.
Someone just scored a goal.
Yeah, you end up being the Spanish
Like,
commentators.
like just
Yeah, no, you turn into the Spanish commentators from WWE, and then somebody's always going through your table instead of the white guys.
Rey
fucking-
Mysterio.
What are you watching? What are you watching? WWE on Telemundo?
No, that'd be great. No, but you ever notice that? Anytime they went through the announcers' tables, it was always the Spanish station. They never went through the English dude's table.
There's just a chicken under the table.
Yeah, it got to the point where you would see like less shit on their table. It's like, well, someone's going through that tonight. You could tell somebody's going through. Yeah.
I never watched WWE. You guys fans of the wrestling?
Yeah, dude.
when I was a kid, I was. Now, like my brother and sister, they're like huge fans of it, and I'm like, I just fucking do comedy, so like I'm, just
You're
mainly
around
watching
enough
that
people
stuff.
that like know about it and stuff. I feel like that's such
but
a
I'm
common
not, like,
thing with
I don't
comics.
care enough.
Yeah,
Comics that like wrestling?
yeah,
think
I
it's
see a
very-
lot of them.
Yeah.
I think it's the mild autism that seems to be contagious in the
Yep.
comedy community.
It is.
Yeah, isn't it weird that one common denominator of not growing up is like in comedy and WWE?
Okay, well, liking comedy is growing up. Liking WWE is gay.
Comedy can be pretty gay, pal. Remember what we did before we started podcasting? No.
Yeah, my ass
Diddy party at my place.
still sore.
Yeah.
Fucking, Dave, what was I going to say? We were talking about that earlier, Jeff, is like, you were saying like getting into comedy later is a weird, because it's like kind of like it's like a childhood dream.
Because you meet people that are like 50 years old. They're like, yeah, I just decided to start hitting them up. And it's like, isn't a comedian like a little kid thing to want to be?
Nah,
See, I disagree as well.
Like, I understand why people would want to get into it when they're older, because for a lot of them, like I have a family member who's older. He's now getting close to 50, and he wants to try it, wants to take a class and stuff. And it's like, I understand, for the last however many years, he's been working for a tech company, and he hasn't had time to do it, but he always wanted to do it. And his cousin also already does comedy, and now his nephew does comedy. And so he's like, all right, now I want to try this, but he didn't have the time until now. So like I can understand that, but also, sometimes those older guys come in to start, and then they like, are kind of like shocked by how different it is, it seems.
Yeah. Or like, I think I would imagine a lot of people that get into it start it late. Like if you're not a young kid, like the amount you realize that in order to get good at it, how much time and stuff it's going to take. And I think most people that are older, just like they have lives, like they just don't have
They got kids.
the time. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You got, kids and a mortgage and stuff. It's a lot harder for you to be out hitting open mics
Let me
every
pop
night.
out the elbow room real quick, hon. You just watched it.
It's harder if you ruin your life before you start doing comedy than if you start doing comedy, then you ruin
And then
your
you
chances
let
by having a
comedy
kid.
ruin your life.
Well, yeah, but then again, also there's some people who that's literally how they made it. Like part of the reason that I started comedy, like I always kind of wanted to do it, but listening to Joey Diaz talk about how the best time of his life was living in a car, showering at gyms, and just going on the road and trying to become the best comic he could be.
Jim who, Norton?
No, not Jim, Joey Diaz.
Oh, you said showering at Jim, sorry.
Showering at gym. No, not Norton. I know he used to live with Josh Wolf or something, but nah, dude, it's like that just seems so interesting, because I was like, dude, how can somebody be living a life that seems so miserable, but they're like, yeah, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then I moved into my first like comics apartment, and I was there for a year, and I was like, oh, I get it. Like it's, things might be shitty. We got roaches, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like fucking touring punk bands back in the day. It's like they would go tour for 8 months out of the year. And it's like, well, how do you like your life if you're sitting in a van with 4 dudes and you're constantly going to other cities and getting spit on, or like carrying gear, having shitty shows? Then you realize when they go back home, it's because they're living in a studio that's like literally a recording studio. And when they're not out on tour, they're not making any money. So it's probably better to live in a van with 4 dudes and at least have money in your pocket at the end of the night than just live in a building that sucks. And it's LA in the 80s.
Well, I think that's the key. I think that is the key with comedy is like you don't want your living situation to be that comfortable because you want it to be more comfortable being out doing comedy than it is to just fucking chill at your
stay home, play Xbox.
Some of the best material that I wrote was literally while I was sleeping on a floor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, it was
You
like,
wrote in your sleep? Nice.
But it would literally be like I'd be sitting there at like 3 a.m. trying to go to sleep and be like, oh fuck, that would be funny, and then just write it down real quick and like, you know, like I was like obviously, you know, staying up all night and shit because I'm sleeping during the day doing online classes and then just going out at night and doing mics or doing shows. And like it was definitely, it's fun when you're living shitty and being a comic.
Yeah.
Like it's more fun.
Yeah. And it gives you more to like talk about. I feel like living like you have more. You're
just chasing after something in general
is good. That's why
I was getting yelled at by crackheads on the street when I walked out of my apartment, and they were just yelling out positive stuff. Like, hey, you look good, motherfucker! Like, just
that's
random.
amazing.
Dude,
I like
it was
that.
like they would just yell positive shit, and it was weird.
Positive
but it's
affirmations.
Like, yeah, positive affirmations from a crackhead or shit like that, where it would just be like, all right, this neighborhood sucks, and it's definitely not.
He's like the
greatest,
neighborhood oracle.
Yeah.
But that sounds nice.
It's a weird heckle.
Just a guy smoking crack, and he's the neighborhood oracle.
Oh,
looking good, man. Like,
Just like, hey, listen, brother, you gonna go to jail in about 3 months. Like,
Dude, I heard
Like,
one of the
damn.
best jokes ever from a crackhead that just walked up to me on my porch in Philly. Fucking, he was like, hey, man, if you give me $1, I'll tell you the best joke ever. I'm like, I need all the material I can get. So,
so you stole material from, or you bought material from
I was
a crackhead
using
for
his,
$1?
I was using his material for a good year.
So you bought material from a crackhead.
Oh yeah,
hell yeah.
But it was probably a public domain joke at that point. But
Okay.
tell me if you like it. So he was like, all right, man. So what's the similarity? Wait, no, the difference. Wait, no, the similarity between caviar and Michael Jackson. They both come on little crackers.
It's not a bad joke.
So, but dude, I love shitty street jokes sometimes.
Oh yeah, they're great.
My favorite shitty street joke is what's the difference between a chickpea and a garbanzo bean? I'd much rather have to not have to pay for somebody to garbanzo bean on me.
Yeah.
It's such a bad fucking joke, but it's great.
I like that.
But it does work. It does work, man. Like I feel like sometimes it's good to have jokes like that in the pocket when
like
you're on
hacky
stage.
shit because unfortunately hacky shit sometimes is all they want to hear.
Yeah, it works. And like if you need something just to let them know that like you're telling jokes or you're gonna be funny, here's a quick little boop-a-doop before you get into like a spiel about whatever fucking putting cactuses on your feet and then tickling a girl's butt with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I don't know. Some crowds are weird though. 'Cause, like I went to Beacon, New York last night, and like I did okay, but it was the most white trash I've ever been around. And when the show was starting, I like couldn't gauge how it was. Like it was just like some audiences want like hacky shit, some audiences don't. And some just want like a weird mix. But when you're in front of like, at least for me, like when I'm in front of a crowd of like super old white people like that, like all 60 plus, I'm like, all right, what the fuck do I say to these people who were probably like, you know, still listen to the Beatles on a regular basis like it just came out?
I try to not do that because I fucked myself in the ass a lot of times.
I wish.
Literally and emotionally. But
Pause.
no. No, but like when you look at the audience, just look at them. And then you try to make a decision of what, like, that's usually a bad idea. Like, you're literally just judging them from how they look and being like, oh, I shouldn't do this joke because they're not going to like that. And it's like, you don't know. Like, a lot of the times.
I don't judge based off of race. Usually, I try to judge based off of what they're drinking.
Or drinks. Yeah.
Because you can tell a lot. Like, if you've got a table of wine drinkers, that means they're one of two things. Either they're going to be fun audience members, or they're a group of wine moms who are out who are going to be fucking horrific and going to be hammered. You see a girl drinking an espresso martini, she might be fine. You see a girl drinking a dirty, she's going to be a fucking problem in the crowd.
What does it mean when you see Ali drinking a glass of wine?
Gay.
It means he's locked in.
Yeah.
I always think that's
means
funny.
That he's living his truth. We'll say that.
Yes.
Yeah, he was walking around with a plastic cup of wine the other night. I was like, what, you trying to hide
okay,
that?
no, that just means you're garbage. Like if you drink wine in a plastic cup.
But
I like wine. I mean, I like drinking wine. I really do.
But in a
red wine's
plastic
good for your
cup,
heart.
though?
I mean, I'm drinking wine out of a bag. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's different. That's just being like getting fucked up. Like that's different.
yeah.
When you're drinking wine out of a plastic cup. I don't know, getting offered, is it just me or does getting offered also a plastic cup at a liquor store kind of offend you?
For a little bit. Like, you want to drink this right now?
Yeah, exactly. I'll do that. Like, I used to be a big Hennessy drinker, and I remember a couple times I went into the store down the street from my house, and they offered me a cup immediately. They're like, "Oh, do you want a cup with this?" And I was like, "Bro, do you think I'm gonna step outside and sit down and have a sip? Like, no, that's not. That's not what I'm doing."
Well, the 3 people before you did. That's why.
Yeah, nah. Bridgeport's the type of place where you go and you see a liquor store. There's definitely a tipped over shopping cart with 3 dudes sitting on it, just all drinking from the same bottle.
I like Bridgeport though for
I'm
that.
gonna tell you, you look great today.
Like you can't walk around Bridgeport without getting into conversation with at least like one homeless crackhead.
Oh yeah,
like,
you
And they're always really nice too. They're always the nicest people.
They're not bad. They're not bad. I like a good crackhead, man.
They don't even ask you for money. Like I've had a couple of them just be like, "Hey man, you know where I can get work, like an actual job?" I'm like, all right, at least these Bridgeport crackheads are working hard. Like,
you're like, I'm sorry, sir. Do I look employed to you?
They're bootstrapping with boots they can't afford. Like it's actually fucking.
That's impressive. I hate when I see like a homeless guy on the side of the road that looks like you. Or like, I'm like, this mother, get a goddamn job.
I mean, Kev, they usually look like you. So.
That is a good point. A lot of people say I look homeless.
Dude, when I had my hair longer, people said the same thing about me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes comics look homeless.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
All you have to do is look like you don't
trust a comic who looks
shower.
homeless more though. Like when I see a comic come out in like a suit or like a shirt and tie, I'm like,
That's a scammer.
Yeah, like wearing like jeans, loafers, and a sweater. I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm like, what? I'm like, what was this Bill Cosby ass nigga coming on stage right now?
I hate it so much when somebody's up there and it looks like they're trying to look cool, like their outfit is all deuced up for a show. It's like, what are you doing?
It's the fucking Andrew Douche Clay going out there on stage.
I do have like little things I do. Or like certain shirts or like earrings and stuff that I put on when I know for like certain shows. Like I like to do like a little something. Like I'm gearing it. Like
a little flair.
Like I'm putting on my gear to do comedy. I don't like switches my mind.
You put in your pride earrings when you ever go to do shows in Brooklyn?
Pride earrings.
What kind of pride?
Gay pride, dude. The only kind of pride.
Man.
Well, I mean, there is another type of pride that Kanye wore on his neck recently. That's a different thing.
That's wild.
That's just soldiering, man.
It's so.
What's he been up to?
As a black man, it's fucking disappointing to see the Kanye shit. It's so fucking disappointing because I'm like, dog, I fucking loved all of his albums. 808s and Heartbreaks was a fucking pivotal moment for me as a kid. And then all of a sudden he turns into a Nazi and I'm like, all right, what the fuck do I do now?
You heard his new song, the How Hitler song?
Dude, I don't listen to Kanye anymore.
It's the hook is How Hitler N-word, right? Isn't that like the whole thing? So like somebody was saying like I'm catching myself singing along to Kanye's new song, but I'm censoring myself whenever it comes up to the N-word. So he's just going How Hitler. How Hitler.
See, the thing is that honestly, all right, this is where I get into my Dr. Umar psyop. I think it's a psyop so they can start getting white people to get used to getting close to saying it so that way they'll just let it flow. And at some point, you're going to have white people just saying Heil Hitler and just keep on saying it over and over and they'll be cool with it.
I'd like to be thought of as a visionary that was ahead of the curve.
I've been listening to Graduation like this whole past week, though. I love that album. It's so
I still listen to his old shit. Don't get me wrong.
Shit slaps, dude.
I love the idea.
I listen to canceled artists. Their stuff they made before they got canceled. I'm okay with it. Like, I don't listen, when it comes to Kanye, the cutoff is Vultures. I don't listen to anything, like, everything before Vultures I'll listen to, but after that, I'm good.
You don't like Vultures?
Just because that's where he really lost it. Like, that was around the time where he really lost it, like, fully. And so I was like, all right, like, if you start saying that slavery is a choice and genuinely trying to defend it, that's where I'm like,
that was a couple albums.
Yeah.
That was a couple albums before Vultures, though.
That's a bit. What do you think the deal? What do you think the deal is?
Okay, the music was still fucking good.
I know, but the music was still good at that point.
He apparently was doing a bunch of whippets to like a scary extent, and you saw what happened to Steve-O at his. But if he's like doing it on like a crazy like daily,
did you just compare possibly the greatest entertainment mind of all time to Kanye West?
Yeah. You know what I love about him? Like his choices lately? He's like, it'll be cool if I have a swastika if I ice it out. It's like that's what'll get people on board. If the shirt failed, he's like, I'll just get a diamond one.
I mean, I hate to say it, but like, it is kind of cool.
Shiny.
Dude,
pretty
it's
shiny.
a weird thing how that much anti-Semitic shit is running through. Like, one of my friends recently texted me that he was like, yo, I'm super pro-Palestine now. No bullshit. When I asked him, I was like, what, did you look into the situation? And he was like, nah, I saw this documentary and Jews are running the world now. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, that's the worst reason to become pro-Palestine.
You're like and subscribe. Thanks for looking at my shit.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck? Like,
they've always run the world, haven't they?
I've never seen one run anywhere.
You guys think we're gonna meet aliens soon?
I think we already have.
I've done DMT before, so yeah.
I want to see. I think before we die, I think an alien's gonna be on the Joe Rogan podcast. That'd be sweet.
That shit would be.
That'd be
hilarious.
fucking dope.
They need to,
all I can imagine is the alien being like bleep blorp, and then just the Joe Rogan being like, wow, that's really interesting, man. Just like, same shit he always does.
Hey, you want to do some smelling salts?
Dude,
Joe Rogan, top 10 grifter of all time. Gotta love him.
Me and my boss been doing smelling salts at work.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude, fucking get you going, bro. They slap.
Dude, I have only ever done smelling salts when I was damn near blackout drunk.
Did it get you? Did it like sharpen you up?
It just made me feel like throwing up. I
was gonna say it made you ready to puke more. Like,
I was just like, all right. Like I got offered it at a place where we did mics at for a while, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll do it. And then I did it, and I was like, oh, I should not have done this. This is a terrible fucking idea.
I think it's great. I love them, dude. It's very painful, and it wakes you up. And
it's like when somebody takes mushrooms when they're drunk as fuck. It's like you're just getting ready to throw up. Like mushrooms make me nauseous.
I did that after my first long set. I remember I was already fucking hammered. I did I think it was like a 20-minute set, and I got off and I was feeling good, even though it did not go good. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll take some mushrooms. Didn't feel great.
No.
Did not feel that fun.
Mushrooms can slap you, dude. If you're not in the right mind space, you can get fucked up by the fucking mushrooms.
I was much more of an acid guy. Like, I don't do any psychs anymore. But
why not?
Acid, I just don't really, like, I'm past that point. I did so many of them that I'm like, all right, what am I gaining out of this at this point?
That's
it's like
true.
I've done.
You reached enlightenment?
No, nobody reaches enlightenment with acid. That's the funniest part. I always hate meeting people who are wokes who are like, oh, I found God and I reached enlightenment. No, you fucking didn't. You were on drugs. That's what happened.
I hate when
they can help though.
They can definitely help. Like DMT opened the door for me to start figuring out my own problems and shit. Like,
I was gonna say, I feel like
make
the only
better,
like
but
the
at the same time, it was still, when it comes to overall psychedelics, like I'm just past that point. But acid was always so much better for me because at least I could control it. Like I heard this thing one time that's a really good comparison. Acid is a video game where you can control what's going on.
Yeah.
You'll
But
definitely respawn.
mushrooms is a TV show. You're just watching shit go down and you have no control over it. You have no control over what's going on.
Yeah.
I hate when the
That's
big
interesting.
epiphany, like from people after they do drugs, after they do acid or something, is like, hey man, I just realized like you just got to be grateful, man. It's like you didn't need to do that.
No,
But it helps,
I
dude.
mean,
No,
it's
but like some people,
Yes, you do,
that could-
because some people, like, they really, like, it's like we talked about earlier with those kids I went to school with who were, like, products of fucking Wall Street. Like, those kids, they definitely
needed to
like,
do
the ones who
mushrooms.
did acid and were like, oh, yeah, I'm kind of an asshole. I need to chill out. Like, that.
It can
really
help.
helps some
That's
people.
the one thing I feel like you can get to like enlightenment is like you trip out and you're like, you know, I'm a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah,
the
right.
only thing you
You
can get
accept
from
it
And
it.
honestly, that's good to
But that's
get
good.
because people, nobody realizes they're an asshole when everybody else tells them.
Yeah.
You only realize you're an asshole once you sit down and you're like, oh, I've done a lot of
It's like,
asshole
well, it's
shit
like
in my
it's like
life.
anything. It's like anything, dude. It's like if you take the blame, then you can do something about it. And I think mushrooms make you look at yourself objectively.
It's
you
like
see,
all
They
psychedelics,
make you
it's like-
actually look at yourself to what it
you
looks like to
drop
look at
that,
yourself.
You drop that wall. There's always, I feel like when you're trying to figure out shit about yourself and like what's going on with your life, there's a barrier where you want to try and justify all the decisions you want to make. And then once the psychs are in your system, that wall just drops and you're like, all right, but that's a bullshit excuse. That's a bullshit excuse.
Right.
You just want to do something that's the wrong thing.
yeah,
feel
you
like
can see
booze-
the honesty in things.
Booze
like-
can do the same thing though. You ever fucking drinking all night and you're like, damn, dude, I should not be driving right now. This is probably bad.
No, I've always drank and been like, yo, this is a good fucking decision, no matter what I did.
Who's got keys?
Dude, I've had.
Dude, I'm in autopilot right now.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, you're in an
dude,
AutoZone
what's
parking lot
better
with a DUI coming.
Dude, what's better than 10 rum and cokes? 10 rum and cokes and your keys.
I feel like I've lived like 30% of my life with like, this is a bad idea and doing it anyway. Like,
I've been having.
It gives you stuff to talk about. It gives you stuff. Nobody became interesting by doing everything they needed to do.
No, they do. You have to make bad. You have to make bad decisions.
Yeah,
bad
that's why. That's literally why Andrew Tate got famous, because he was just like, yeah, I did a bunch of terrible shit.
Yeah, dude. I feel like when I started comedy, when I very first started comedy in Utah, like I felt it. I knew like I was like, oh, this is going to be a problem, because I noticed being like, I know this is a really bad idea. I know it's like not going to come up anything good, but it's going to make a pretty interesting story. So I was saying yes to just doing really reckless shit just because I knew I would get a fucking story out of it. And when I started comedy, it still is mostly true stories of like dumb shit that I've done. It's like,
yeah. So how do you guys, when it comes to comedy, how do you feel about storytelling? Do you feel like it should be all 100% truth, or just punch some stuff up?
Who gives a shit? It just needs to be funny.
Well, don't do the Hassan shit though that he was doing, where he was like, you guys know about that?
Oh, where he was claiming he did all this shit. And
yeah, where it's like the lie he said was that like someone had fucking mailed anthrax to his daughter or something, and it wasn't for the sake of a punchline. It was just to like really make himself a victim.
It's like the fucking Jussie Smollett thing.
Jussie Smollett was comedy though.
He was the funniest fucking thing.
The funniest thing about that was he thought it was believable that he left his apartment at like midnight to get Subway
in Chicago.
That's
like,
what you wanted.
The fact that you think Subway's open at 2 a.m.
Oh no, Subway is definitely open at 2 a.m. But Subway in Chicago, like no matter what. I don't care if he's in the nicest neighborhood in Chicago. I don't really want to go outside at night in Chicago.
Negative 13 degrees.
It does get cold as fuck there.
Yeah, dude. It's like you're right on that fucking lake. Like everything's cold as shit. People get murdered all the time. Like it's definitely
probably why it's so cold.
But I'm with you. I feel like stories should be seated in truth. Like you got to punch it up.
Yeah, because like a fully true story. I've only ever had one true story that I've told on stage that like happened word for word exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
That really like is all true, and it's just funny because of how it happened.
Yeah.
Like other than that, it's like you have to punch some stuff up. Like obviously, don't turn into Bert Kreischer and just say shit that clearly never happened. But
yeah. You think he did? I think he tells mostly true stories.
I think that a lot of it is rooted in truth, but he exaggerates a lot of it. To an extent that
goes
it's
back
like,
to what I was saying. It just has to be funny.
Has to be funny.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be funny, but it gets to a certain point where it starts to look like all those people who get interviewed by Adam22, where you're like, all right, this has to be bullshit, dude. You're going way over the top.
Yeah, I feel like.
Then again, I feel like it might be partially a black thing. Like, I don't believe shit that majority of people say, even if I see somewhat proof. I'm like, but you could be presenting this proof to potentially be lying to make yourself seem better. Like, I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, I don't like when comics lie about like foundational things. Like if they're like lying about, like you're doing a joke about maybe having like being molested by your uncle or something. If it's like a story about actually being like, I don't feel that's for somebody that that's a joke for somebody that actually got like some things you just don't get to do. Like you can't I don't think you should manufacture childhood trauma. Like there's comics that have it and use it and it's funny. That's good. But I don't think you should make up fucking getting abused by your parents for a fucking joke.
I stay lying on stage. Like I don't actually have a train set.
You don't?
No.
That's all right.
Dude, I'm autistic and I don't have a train set. So like that's I mean, you're on the same page as me. It's all right.
You think you fucking know a guy.
I know, right?
I have two.
This is the Real Me podcast.
Okay, so I think you might need to get diagnosed too, man.
I probably am autistic at some level. I mean, everyone's autistic, right? It's a
at least 90% of people in the year 2025.
Nah, the thing is this, a lot of people, and another comic, shout out to Alex Tomaselli, because me and him talked about this a while back, and it's a really true thing. A lot of people now are saying they're self-diagnosed, and it's like, nah, dude, you're not self-diagnosed. You're fucking weird, and that's okay.
Oh, yeah,
It's like, that's okay. It's like you took one online quiz. That does not mean you're autistic. Like, some people actually had to really go through shit and, like, be like, all right, something's actually wrong, and have to get a real diagnosis. And then somebody steps in and is just like, oh, I don't have fun in crowds. I'm autistic. It's like, nah, dude, you just need
kind
to
of
drink.
an asshole.
You just need to drink more.
I think if you're genuinely autistic, you're not going to have that moment of clarity where you're like, think I'm autistic. I think if you're just like, everything's fine, I'm fine. Like,
Yeah, right.
This is normal.
Yeah, no, I always thought that everything was fine until a family member whose son is autistic pointed it out to me. She was like, hey, you show X, Y, and Z trait that are like very along those lines. And I started like thinking back on shit. And one thing that stuck out was like when I was a kid, my dad's friend owned a pizza place, and he would bring me there because he would just go and hang out with his friend all the time because the pizza place was like always empty. And he would just let me sit in the back and fold boxes for hours. Like, just fold pizza boxes. Like nobody said shit about that. Nobody thought anything was wrong.
No, child labor's cool. That's
child labor is fine. I don't know.
I was having a great fucking time.
Autism's a
I
weird
love
thing.
edges.
It's a weird thing because like obviously
edging.
some people have it, but like also. Like you said, a lot of people are just weird.
And that's okay.
And you can't, there's not like
weird people make the world more fun. I've never met somebody who's straight-laced or somebody who thinks that they're the cool guy that's actually the cool guy.
Right. Everyone in here is just weird. Like everyone in this room is just weird. Like that's why we're all slightly autistic. Some really autistic. But I feel like that's the weird thing about autism though. Like there's not really, it's like hard to like, there's not really a test. Like you can't like test your blood and like this is autistic blood, or like it's not like it's like
an autistic blood is just the guy that got out of the hood with good math scores.
I got autistic blood.
I had trouble wording that for a second. I was like, it's the guy.
Yeah, autistic Crip is a good math guy in a wheelchair. What is that?
Dude, if you had to lose any limb, just one limb.
My penis.
Really?
Wouldn't even notice.
I was already planning on cutting it off.
Oh, going that route.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, do you feel
I'll
like
call you Caitlin from now on.
I'm keeping the beard though.
Oh, a bearded lady.
Bearded lady. I'm joining the
joining the circus.
Gonna have a beard and a pussy. Gonna be the first man to transition into a trans man.
I was thinking.
I'm taking over the WNBA too.
I was thinking
I'm dunking on these bitches.
I was thinking about autism the other day, like, because there's so many autistic people now, more than like back, like 20, 30 years ago, right?
Nah.
So I was like, were autistic people just in like mental institutions? Like, did they just get
in the good old days?
Pretty much, they didn't. I love this one Michael Che joke of like now if you show signs of autism, we call you autistic. Back then, if you showed signs of autism, they just called you names. Like you got a nickname. Like that's if you had an uncle who danced 12 hours a day. That's not your autistic uncle. That's Dancing Rob. Like that's all it is.
Yeah, right. But that's what I was thinking. Like, do you think
the whole time? Like,
but that's what I think. Do you think there'd be less autistic people if you could still bully kids? Like, could you bully the autism out of somebody?
I tried.
No,
because they don't get it.
You don't. Yeah, it's not like
Well,
something
we tried
develops
that,
over
and then
time,
Columbine happened, and then everything else in the past 10 years. Yeah.
Oh.
That's a good autism. I'm autistic. Not only that, but my autism is guns and live ammunition.
Dude, for some kids, that's it though. Like there was a kid at my high school who was like RFK's list autistic. Like he was very, very high on the spectrum, and his autistic obsession wasn't trains, wasn't anything like that. It was literally
pussy.
military history and military weaponry. Like he would come into school, like he would be talking about tanks and firearms, and we would be like, "Okay, buddy, that's awesome." Like, what the fuck what am I supposed to say? This kid's telling me about the Apache attack helicopter.
Autism.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
So there was like a big, you did like drills and stuff when you were in high school, like shooting drills and stuff like that.
Hell
or no?
yeah.
Yeah, I always found that stuff weird because it was like, there's a Dave Chappelle joke about like you're training the shooter, but also when we started doing that, I was like 11 and I went to a black school. We didn't have school shooters like that. That's not a thing.
They waited till after school. They were fucking.
No, pretty much. Like there was kids. The closest we had to a school shooting was there was a friend of mine that had a gun, but that was like at school. But that's because he was, into shit outside of school that he, even though we were 12, he needed a gun. Like he actually I was like, all right, like it's probably good that you have this.
Think he was autistic?
Nah, he was just really like that. Like it was, but yeah, I remember one day I walk into class and he was like, he points to the coat rack. He's like, "Hey, yo, go feel the pocket on my jacket." And I was like, "All right, word." I go over there. I feel it. No, I did not pull a Plexico burst. I'm all good on that one. I remember I went over and I felt it, and it was a fucking revolver. And I was like, yo, what do you have this for? And he was like, just in case. I was like, in case of what? Like, we're fucking 12 years old. But like, looking back on it now, I'm like, yeah, I kind of get it. But when it comes to the school shooter drills, it's like, it didn't click in my head that could happen until I got to a white school. And there was a couple kids who I was like, all right, he might shoot this bitch up. That's when I was
that's
like,
what I was asking, because I never really thought of it. I never thought of it. Even like Columbine happened when I was in school, but I never remember being like nervous about it as a kid. I feel like kids nowadays might be actually like, that's like something they're sitting with being nervous.
I was nervous at a white school. Because it was
that makes sense.
It was different because like I'm talking like kids who were like on the internet all day, no supervision from their parents. They're just constantly going on Reddit and 4chan and looking up like incel Nazi shit. So you're like, all right, well, this kid just tried to justify, why black people should have been taken as slaves. Like, I'm good on being around this kid. He might shoot all of us first.
I had like
White kids are scary, man.
I had an actual thought after graduating. I was like, I guess I technically just survived school shootings. Because once I was out of high school, I was like, I'm not supposed to be going back to schools now.
Unless you become a teacher.
Spending a lot of time. Not like that, but we still have time.
I'm not supposed to be within 300 feet.
But then mass shootings just started popping off. Now I walk into Walmart and I'm like, ugh, see what happens.
I know, dude.
It's always the same person, though. It's always the same person.
Yeah, shoot and rob.
Kid.
No.
I know, that's why I like my comedy crowd small.
White. It's always the same thing. It's usually A, got bullied in school or still continues to get bullied in their regular life. B, usually somewhere on the higher end of the spectrum. And C, also chronically online.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like the only place that could convince you that the world is bad enough that you need to kill everybody to start anew is online. Because there is fucking like the internet just it makes you think the worst of the world. Yeah. I never leave Twitter feeling good about myself.
Dude, I literally feel like when you get off your phone, like I literally feel dumber sometimes. Like my brain is like scattered, and I've noticed because I like just started like trying to pick up books and read more often and stuff, and I can tell because of the phone how difficult it is to stay focused.
Yeah, dude, there's no skibbity toilet riz in these books. Like, how are you supposed to stay focused?
Yeah, dude, it's
we're
hard.
talking about feeling stupid because of our feeds, and we are literally contributing to putting something on the internet right now.
I know. It's fucking
we just had like a mildly intelligent conversation about autism and school shootings.
Why do people shoot up schools? Why are they retarded? Let's get down to the bottom of this.
Yeah, because if anyone's gonna find out what the deal is with autism, it's the Yeah Dude podcast.
Yeah,
we're gonna get.
Well, I mean, you guys brought one on here today. Like, it makes sense.
I feel like there's always one on the podcast at some point. I mean, I don't know anybody that's.
Yeah, you've had a couple where I'm like, all right, they've definitely got something. They don't touch.
Brittany's been on here. She's shout out all the autistic people. I don't know if is Charity autistic?
No, she's just retarded.
Oh, she's retarded. Shout out all the retarded people.
Yeah, there's a big difference. You gotta clarify between the two.
But like, what do you think's causing autism? Is it like the plastic?
It's the red food dye.
Okay, this is where we're going into the JFK shit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Nothing's causing autism. It always existed. It's just that now we know what to call it.
It's trendy now too.
People say all this stuff like, "Oh, autism didn't exist when I was a kid." It's like, yeah, but you know what else didn't exist when you were a kid? Fucking polio vaccines and shit like that. Like, you guys still got the mumps.
Yeah, all the autistic people just died off naturally as like it was intended.
Because they are saying, some people are saying, right, like the vaccines could be called, like childhood vaccines could be causing autism.
That was proven wrong so long ago that at that point, it's kind of like, that's the all lives matter of the autism conversation, where it's like, all right, dude, you're just trying to point to anything you can now, any type of rhetoric to back up what you're saying, because you don't want to admit that something is a real problem. Autism's always been around. It's like Michael Che said, you got a name. You didn't get called autistic.
Interesting.
So you just got, that's why the trend was bullying the autistic kid. They had that whole trope in movies because of that.
I was going to say, I feel like a huge intro to an autistic person was Forrest Gump. Like, people just were like, oh, that's a real person.
No, that thing's retarded.
Well, being autistic is retarded. Let's not downplay it.
Dude, not good at math, could run through everybody on the football field. That's retard strength.
He's the only person. He's so retarded, he's the one person that thought he could run away from his problems.
From Alabama.
And
you can't run away from Alabama. That shit stays in you.
Yeah.
Shit. Here, I'm gonna restart the camera real quick, and we'll be right back. Take pisses if you got to. Yeah. Bibbity bop, bibbity boo, bibbity bop bop. Oh, Ian Carr texted me.
What's he up to?
What is Ian Carr up to? Word up. Just saw this. See you at the Boner Dome.
What's the Boner Dome?
Elbow room.
Oh. Calls it that?
He calls it a bunch of fucking different things. He's a fucking hilarious guy.
Autistic and not diagnosed.
Ian Carr?
Ian? Nah, there's no way. He's just an asshole, dude.
No, he's a social butterfly.
He is a social. He's a very social guy. I get exhausted.
Dude, top tier wingman. Gotta say that.
Oh, yeah.
Top tier wingman.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's funny.
I don't want to bang any girl interested in Ian Carr's thoughts. To be honest.
No, dude, it was a weird thing that happened in Rhode Island where he just like cracked the ice open with these two girls who happened to be this girl's aunt who was like in her 60s and looked like she was in her 40s, and then the niece like I was talking to, and it was like very out of nowhere. It was like Ian goes over there, and about a minute and a half later, he's like, "Yo, Trev, come on!" Like I'm just like, "Wait, what the fuck?" Like that quick.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you guys did that weekend with him
in Rhode Island. Yeah.
Oh, did you guys smash?
Well, him and Ian did share a room.
So what, did Ian watch you smash?
That's probably what he likes. I just want to watch.
You gotta flip that mic around.
Let's. I'll go ahead.
No, you gotta hold it like this.
Be a gentleman about it. Just.
Ken Kennedy.
I'll go ahead and be a gentleman about it.
Who's ready to rumble?
That's always cool. That would be sweet if the mics just hung from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like four rappers.
I'm gonna do a comedy set like Lemmy from Motorhead. Just
Tonight's heavyweight bout between Kevin Doty and Chad Lennon.
Dude, I feel like there's a ball sack fucking hanging
in the light cruiserweight division.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time you were in the Navy.
That's just true. Hey, it's not gay. It's underway, dude.
So if it's in international waters, can't say shit.
It's not gay if it's.
Yo, Casey Frontera, that kid that goes to Colchester a lot, was like he's on submarines all the time because he's still like doing shit in the Navy.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
he's a chief.
He's crazy fucking shit he was telling me about just being in a submarine. He was saying like how they're underwater the whole time, so they'll play games with
dolphins.
They'll play games with like people that are just on ships out and around them. And they'll pop up out of the water and just take a picture of their ship and send it to them. They're like, dude, what? Like, we had no idea you were anywhere near us. That's crazy. Think about how big a submarine is, and you can sneak up on a ship that's got the best technology in the world next to you.
Yeah, the military technology is fucking insane. Like,
it's incredible, man.
They have autism? Shit that we don't know about.
Yeah, they probably have a cure for autism. Okay.
Oh no, that's where I get into my conspiracy theory bag. I'm almost positive they have a cure for damn near everything. And they just wouldn't release it because it's not profitable.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, dude, they literally everything's about making money.
Yeah,
everything.
There's probably autistic guys in the military that they just they do all the push-ups until they don't have it anymore.
Yeah, they just be cleaning their guns 24/7.
You know what's a bummer to me? They just
polishing their boots.
They just came out and said like within like 100 days or something, anybody who's trans needs to leave the military.
Yeah.
Which is like, why? If you want to fucking fight for your country, who gives a shit?
You know what? You know why? You know why it is though. It's the surgery. So all these trans people are joining because you get one elective operation or surgery while serving. So they're joining. They're joining just to get the surgery, and it's just costing crazy amounts of money. I mean, but you would think who gives a fuck because the military is a goddamn professional at wasting money. That's what they do.
Yeah, damn. Imagine,
but that's why they're just joining to get the fucking.
Imagine joining
but I mean, it tends to cut off people no matter what though, because like there's a lot of black dudes back in World War II and stuff, and in Vietnam. Hell yeah. They would literally go and they would go to war and they would come back and get told, sorry, we're not giving you the GI Bill. You can't go to college. After they just went to serve specifically for that.
You know what the craziest
why would they? So repeat that? I'm sorry.
There was a lot of black people who went to World War II, Vietnam, and Korea who they didn't get their GI Bill.
Oh, really?
They just got straight told well, sorry, we can't give you the GI Bill. For no other reason that they were black. That was no other reason.
You know what's really messed up?
And they're doing the same thing with trans people now. It's like there's not an exact correlation, but trans people get treated like niggas a lot, and it's really, really weird to see.
Yeah. That's why that's like Dave Chappelle's fucking whole thing that he hates though. He's like, because it's like.
Well, I mean, he's on a way other end of the spectrum, where it's kind of transphobic a little bit.
It is a little bit, but
I like the Gerard Carmichael thing, where it's like. Some of the points I can agree with, Because, yeah, it does seem like there's a lot more care because there's white people in that group.
Yeah.
And that's why they're willing to be more open and accepting. But at the same time, it's like, you can't be like, oh, their lives are on easy mode, because it's like, nah, that's also not true.
Right.
People literally are saying, yo, we should kill all of them. Like, that's not fun for any group to go through.
No, nobody wants to be told they're gonna be killed.
Well, you know what's really fucked up?
Plus, it's not their dick. Like,
back in like World War II.
Yeah, not my dick, not my problem.
Exactly.
That's what I say.
I mean, unless it's like a Diddy type thing, then that's a problem.
That could be not your dick, a big problem.
Huge problem.
Yeah.
Back in
Hopefully not too big, but
bro, you know what's crazy?
Problem nonetheless.
Back in World War II.
Yeah, fucking.
So they used to jerk each other off in the trenches.
Yeah, but that was all in good fun. That was
in good fun. You got one guy looking out the trenches, the other one's down there just.
Well, dude, I mean, you're way more likely to fucking protect your buddy next to you if he's giving you a blowjob after the fight.
Yo, he can't die. He can't.
Listen,
I need this guy. Yeah.
If you're gonna be stuck around all men in the barracks and doing gay shit, it better be in prison and not the military.
No, back in World War II, they would like when Italy when they didn't get overtaken, they were still part of the Axis powers. People were forced out of cities in Italy and fled to America. And then when they got to America, they're like, all right, you want to be a citizen? Here's what you do. You join the army, and then you fight the war, and then when you come back, you'll be a citizen. That's it. So they would come back from a city they just fled, get shipped over back to Italy to fight their neighbors, and then they would come home, and they'd be like, yeah, sorry, dog. Like, no citizenship for you. And then that's a bunch of people in the mob. That's what they did. They were like, fuck this country then. You want to fuck me over? I'll fuck you over. And then they go to the Italian places in New York, and that's what happened with the mob.
Whoa.
And then there was a bunch of connections to get military weapons because all these people came back from World War II with U.S. military backgrounds. We're like, I know how we can get this and that.
No
they had
shit.
more foreign affairs and shit.
So you're saying the mob took a rose because they were Italians that were denied citizenship?
A lot of them would come back and like they would get denied citizenship that was promised because they had to go back and fight.
Whoa.
And they would literally be fighting like their neighbors. They'd be back in the city they fled. And then when they came back, the government was like, yeah, sorry, you're not getting a citizenship. And they'd be like, all right, well, then fuck you.
Fuck you.
Like,
Yeah.
No citizenship, I'll just live under the radar for the rest of my life then.
Yeah, I feel like there's
That's
a lot of people will wonder why like marginalized groups are like so angry at the country. And then you look back and see how we got treated directly by the government. And you're like, yeah, no wonder Italian people get pissed off at that and the mob takes a rise in power. I'd be fucking pissed too.
Even funnier too, the mob's super patriotic group of people. They loved America. Well, because they came over and they figured out how to fuck everything over. But they loved
that's the American way.
They loved America. That was their American dream.
They love I love this game.
I mean, dude, America is still the shit. Like, it's still one of the only places that you can come. You can literally have. I mean, it's very difficult, and there's things weighed against you, but people do it all the time. Have nothing, create a whole lot of something.
Yeah,
like,
dude, I feel like we're
true.
about
It's
to break
such a
into the
selective
national
story,
anthem.
though. Like, there's so few people that happens to, and I feel like a lot of
American
people
flag backdrop.
they'll point to like the one example and be like, "Hey, this person did this. Why can't you?" And it's like, all right, well, I was born here under these circumstances where I have to kind of escape, but not really. They literally had to escape. They had to do whatever they had to do to leave because they were going to die if they didn't.
You know what's funny too?
Americans are, compared to everybody else, lazy. We don't have the same drive because we don't have the same like.
That's why those stories. That's why those people make it, because they're coming from real hardship. Most Americans don't experience real hardship, so they never build.
Our poverty is your car is manual and not automatic. Like, that's our poverty.
Bitch,
Our poverty
well,
is
that's
manual.
a bitch, pal. No.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I love
our
manual,
poverty.
though.
Exactly. And it's like, the thing is this, some people choose things that are tied to poverty as a choice in America. In other places, they don't have the option.
Right.
Like, there's no other choice.
Just yeah. Now, America is the shit, though. Still, as fucked up as it is.
As fucked up as it is, I'm glad that we're here, because it's like, this is the only, or not the only, but this is one of the few countries on the planet where you can look into a camera, say fuck this country because of X, Y, and Z, and you have the freedom to say it without getting pulled off of the street, a black bag thrown over your head, and, never to be seen again.
You know what's funny? Like,
You could say it on
that.
Netflix.
You can say that in front of a certain person, and they will legitimately right now be like, "Oh, not for long. Trump's doing this in the office," or other way too. They'd be like, "Oh, not for long. Joe Biden was doing this." Like, dude, we're never going to get to the point where we can't. Like it would, if it got to the point where you can't say shit like that, like we're not a free country anymore. I feel like a lot of people would just be like, "No, fuck this guy."
Yeah, well,
there's way too many people that like what we're doing that would stop that before it happened.
That's why I see so many people now who were like such Trumpers, like turning on him. Because it's just like, dude, they're seeing like little signs here and there of shit they think could be.
Sad is when people like voted for him because they really thought it was in their best interest, like business owners or something. And like I just saw something where a dude like tweeted out in like July, like Trump, something about Trump, like this is why I'm voting for him. And then like last month, he's like, today I'm shutting down my business. I didn't think like that the tariffs that he would put in place would shut me down in 60 days. It's like, damn, you voted for a dude that just crushed your company.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even, like, it's not really his fault if he actually thought that the dude was going to help him before all this happened. Yeah. That's why I don't vote.
No,
I don't want to have anybody to back up.
It's a bullshit rigged system. No,
exactly.
I just, like, I feel like if the Founding Fathers came here today and saw that we only had two parties and we're still really looking at the Constitution as that was written that many years ago as a thing we should fucking hold on to, they'd be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
But it's like fucking, like you said, it's a rigged system, whatever, that like fucking doesn't matter who you vote for. And that's why I find it so funny that people are like, oh my God, Biden, oh my God, Trump. When the shit's going to play out, how it's going to play out. Those are puppets. The people that are in power have been in power. It's like the president does not have
Kanye's been telling us.
Yo, I just have
president does not have as much power as everybody thinks. They're a show. It's a fucking show so that we can cast blame and this group does this and that group does that. But like the story, there's a plan playing out in this fucking country and it's been going.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who the fuck gets elected.
I just thought
the thing is, it just has to, it depends on who it benefits, because the thing is, it's like the full-on shutdown of a country. Who does it actually benefit? Because all those people who would benefit from it also would take such a huge hit if they did that.
Yeah, yes and no. I feel like the people that we're talking like the kings in the castle that no one knows, man. Like, they're unaffected by it. It doesn't matter. They're fucking set.
I got one king in a castle and no one knows his name is God.
Shout out God. No, but dude, like I really do think that yeah, the whole secret society, like there's people behind the curtain. There's the fucking guy pulling the strings, Wizard of Oz. It's all a show.
You know what I think about is like the people that are really like what's really going on nobody knows is there's groups in the government that they don't even tell the president about what's going on there. They're like, dude, you're gonna be out in 4 years. Why the fuck?
That's what I'm saying.
Those are the people that are doing shit where it's like, and we'll never know. There's a bunch of government agencies that aren't funded by Congress, so that's why they used to sell fucking guns and drugs to get funded to do counterintelligence and shit. Like between the FBI and the CIA used to have all these groups that weren't really a government operation, but they operated like that. They were just a wing that wasn't getting funded. So it's not on the books. They can do whatever they want. But it got us into like Iran-Contra or like kept us in Vietnam.
That's what I was going to say. The Contra affair is the perfect example of it, where they started literally selling cocaine into the U.S.
Freeway Rick Ross, dude.
Yeah, dude. Start selling cocaine through Freeway Rick Ross. They start selling cocaine and it gets released out into the streets of South Central in L.A. And now all of a sudden, L.A. becomes fucking war zone through crack. Yeah. Same thing with like Oakland, New York City, Chicago, Baltimore, like all these places. Just because the CIA wanted counterintelligence and their best way to help other countries, aka be able to have a foothold in countries where they try to instill capitalism, now all of a sudden they have this foothold through destroying their own country. And so then people will look back and they'll point at these communities and be like, well, these communities are the problem. What? Just look at history. Like, history is the problem, not the communities. It's history.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's like there's a game being played globally that the governments and it doesn't matter as much. Like there's other chess pieces being moved that has nothing to do with the fucking president. Well, the president is part of it because they got to put up.
They need somebody to
can't
blame.
Have people knowing about what this is going. We got to have them focused over here.
Yeah, when it comes to all that deep state stuff, it's like, hold up. Oh, okay. When it comes to. Sorry, I didn't know what was going on. When it comes to all that,
he's just been eyeing my water. He's like, I need that.
Is that yours?
Yeah, you can take it.
When it comes to all that stuff, though, it's like Americans are so like America-centric in their head. They don't realize that like whatever plan it is, probably playing out globally. Like we're just so like focused on what's going on in America, we don't realize shit that's going on anywhere else.
Yeah.
No.
I don't even want to travel just because I don't want to miss out on like what's Twitter is going on.
Nah, dude,
But I'm
you
like,
gotta,
yeah, I can
dude,
still be on
traveling
Twitter.
is the best thing you can fucking do in the world. Dude, you need to travel because
Go to the trashiest places you can. That's where you'll meet true America.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what's funny?
Coming from a guy that grew up in Bridgeport.
No, not even traveling around America.
The worst places you go, in my opinion, because that's when you get to meet the real, like real America. That's not where people who are chronically online. It's where people are just like, all right, we're living, we are living a shitty life already. We develop these opinions and stuff because our life sucks already. They didn't need online stuff to keep pushing it.
I always felt like it doesn't matter if it's like the majority of what's going on, but like the lowest, shittiest part of any country is what that country really is. Like if you have a great government, but then there's a neighborhood where people are just like all doped up and intense and dying of fentanyl and shit. That's what our country actually is.
That's London.
Because the lowest standard is what that's if we're working on anything and like everything's booming and people that are making billions of dollars in advertising and all that shit, what we should be working on is the worst problem. And the worst problem is really what we are as a country. It doesn't matter everything else that's going well. If we have that problem, then that's probably the biggest thing you should be thinking about.
Yeah, which
doesn't
is
matter what it is.
Yeah, it's like that's what's crazy about it. Like we got like kids shooting each other at school.
Yeah.
Like clearly there's something foundationally wrong. And it's like we were talking about.
I also have opinions on that too. The clear foundation, I will stick to this. Every single kid who shoots up a school says the same thing. I got bullied. And they usually have records of it reported to the school.
I thought you were going to say, boy, that's fun. No.
Dude, my question is this, dude. It's like, at what point do we start to blame the school for not taking these signs that this kid already has a problem, already unhinged?
We told the kid in high school.
Like you should be like kids aren't that good at being like liars yet.
No.
Like you should be able to like
I'm not going to shoot at school. No.
Like, dude, no, I'm totally not going to shoot up school. I have these bullets. I'm holding them for a friend. I'm holding the bullets, the pistol, the switch to turn this thing into an AR.
Yeah, these aren't mine.
There was a kid that we used to walk home with every day from like middle school until high school. And it was me, my brother, and another kid. We were all friends. We all skated. And then there was this random dude that was just like really, really weird. He didn't shower, fucking crazy, just an insane person. And he would say all this weird shit. And one day he told my friend, he's like, yeah, I only get to know somebody if I want to kill them. And that's like really weird because you've been talking to us every day when we're walking to school. So my friend told the school, I think my friend and he was like, talk to my brother. He's like, you should probably tell the school about that. So they told the school, brought the kid into the office, made him shower at the gym. And that was it.
No, that wasn't the problem.
I know. Now we won't even smell him coming. Like,
And that's the thing, dude. It's almost like these schools, they're so anti-school shooting, but they refuse to ever go after the root of the problems. Like that kid in Florida, Nicholas Cruz. It came out that
Parkland.
Yeah, in Parkland, it came out that girl who was on TV who was like, "Stop gun violence," used to bully the shit out of the kid. And it's like, all right, well, this might partially be your fault. Like,
my dad,
bro, you ever watch his interrogation video?
Violence.
You ever watch his interrogation video?
Is that the guy that's
I
like,
don't get
looking
too
all
deep
around,
into
like,
the
going
interrogation
crazy the whole
videos
time?
of school shooters.
If you want to watch a liar try to just like manipulate an interrogator, it's
Nah,
so
man,
funny.
I wasn't there. No.
He's trying to like punch himself in the face. He's like, I'm crazy, man. I'm crazy.
Dude,
I'm like, yeah, I mean,
there's a difference between real crazy and somebody who's not crazy and is pretending they're crazy.
Thinks they're completely
they'll tell
normal.
you they're crazy. No, but an actual crazy person, they don't think they're crazy.
No.
Right.
They think they're sane, and they're going to try and convince everybody else that they're the crazy ones because they think
right. Yep. No, that's for sure. That's
Which is
for
why
sure.
you guys are all insane and I'm not, okay? No.
No, I like being crazy. Well, I'm not like kill anybody crazy. I don't think I could kill anybody.
You're just
yeah,
creative.
that's kind of a weird.
Yeah.
That's kind of a weird thing to be like to even think like, oh, could I kill somebody? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's, I don't even really think about that. Like,
What's she wearing?
That's fucked up.
Yeah,
how many of us would it take to kill a gorilla though? I think 6.
How many what?
Of us would it take to kill a gorilla?
We
I
could
think
never.
6.
We
Depends who that fucking
Hold on.
gorilla is.
What do you
We
mean
could
by
never
of
do it.
us?
Did you see the
CT comics?
animated
Yes.
video?
No.
6 elbow room comics could kill a gorilla.
That's
No.
bullshit. It really. The thing is, though, I've been saying this on stage, but I genuinely believe this. It depends on what gorilla it is, because if it's
Little bitch ass
If it was
gorilla.
an autistic gorilla,
Does this gorilla
I don't
have a
think there's
rap?
autistic gorillas. I don't think that's a thing, but I think that if it's a gorilla that's been in a zoo for a really long time, it's probably skittish. It doesn't have that same like fight in it that a gorilla from the wild has. Like a gorilla that's from the Congo that's been out there fucking knocking out chimpanzees. He doesn't care. He's going to do whatever he can to win. He'll grab one of you or two of you and just fucking spin around to just start hitting everybody else. Like
I think any gorilla will do that. Especially one kept like in captivity.
I don't think
it's like
what type of gorilla? Yeah, it depends on what type of captive gorilla. Because if it's like I just did 15 in the zoo, I'm a killer gorilla. That's different.
He might be a mad gorilla, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that man stabbed 3 chimps in the showers in Atlanta. You have no idea what he's done.
I'm just saying, no amount of human beings are taking out a gorilla.
No, you're gonna punch that thing in the face with all your might, and it's just gonna literally not budge. You're gonna break
It's gonna just grab you by the arm, snap your arm while grabbing
your arms
and then
off.
throw you 50
I'll tell you what, though. I can't fight a gorilla, but a gorilla can't fight a 45. A gorilla cannot fight a 45, and that's a fact.
You guys ever You ever
shoot
hear
a
the
gorilla?
fucking,
I'll shoot that fucking gorilla.
That's why we have guns.
Yeah, go see Harambe. I don't give a fuck.
You ever hear about Daniel Tosh's joke on retard strength? He's like those guys are strong. Like they got grip strength that is unheard of. Like they got the strength of like a chimp. That's why if you see a retarded chimp, you turn around and run. You turn around and run. Yeah, even one gorilla.
Okay, so 100 retarded guys versus a gorilla.
Now we're talking.
Well, who's this gorilla?
Well, it depends. If he's like I just did 15 in the zoo, I don't give a fuck gorilla. That's different.
No one's taking him out, dude. What about?
He's the C murder of gorillas.
Exactly.
I bet a bunch of people could get a chimp, but not a gorilla.
No,
you know what?
chimps are even more dangerous.
I think it's crazier that more orcas are killing people in captivity than like gorillas are. Like orca whales was just dragging.
You guys
people
see that documentary?
That made
there
me
was a gorilla that got near a kid and they shot him. Like that's pretty.
The gorilla shot the kid.
Dicks out for Harambe, everybody. Yeah.
Nah, man. If I had to fight any animal, it would be like, ooh, that's a good. What kind of animal would I want to fight?
I mean, Khabib fights bears.
I'd go for a guinea pig.
I think I'd try to fight like a big bird, like an ostrich or something. That'd be wild.
You don't want
I
anything that
hate
could
that.
pick you in the
I
eyes.
hate
You dead. That ostrich is gonna fuck
That
you.
thing can bob and weave.
Dude, it's
what about like a peacock? I'll fuck up a peacock. I'll fight a peacock.
Nah,
Well,
man,
yeah, anybody would fuck up a peacock. That's like saying you could beat up a kindergartner. It's like
I don't like anything with something pointy that could just chop me at the eyes, though. Like that's not gonna go well.
Have you ever heard about the emu wars in fucking Australia?
No.
That was a whole thing. Like literal emu birds fought a war against the Australian military and kind of won.
For what? Their civil rights?
For real?
They just wanted
They wanted those bird rights.
It's a weird thing. They wanted to like drive all the emus out of this one place, and they like couldn't. So they ended up trying to kill them, but the emus started figuring out what they were doing and somehow figured out other formations to start actually doing military shit flanking them.
That's real? This really happened?
Yeah, and so these people were trying to fight all these birds and they fucking lost. Like horrifically. Like they got to the point where like if you're hunting birds and you have to bring out a machine gun, you lost. You lost. If you have to put a switch on a Glock because a bird can take you out, you lost. You just fucking give up. Let the emus have the island or whatever it was that happened.
Why don't you just poison the food, you fucking idiots?
Yeah, that's a much better thing.
Just hand them a blanket of trust.
And then you shoot their dead bodies. Yeah, blankets.
Yeah, just shoot the dead bodies. Then that's when you try to make it look like a fucking Fred Hampton Black Panther setup. To be
Dude, they should have gave him a great deal. They should have let the emus start their own businesses and start
planting
selling
guns
products,
on emus,
pay taxes, and they could have had a good relationship.
I just think it would be hilarious if they acted like American cops about it, like the Dave Chappelle, just like let's sprinkle some crack on him and get out of here.
Did you guys see the thing they gave? Like they gave and like taught like a study. I think of like chimps, like monkeys, money. Like they figured it out. Like this is value. Like they just gave it a money system, and within like a couple months, they were corrupt and paying for sex and shit.
Yeah,
it didn't take long for them to get to the roots.
It was a fucking pimp chimp selling off his fucking
dude.
ladies.
That's amazing, dude.
Pretty good, dude.
It's fucking amazing. What time is it? All right, let's wrap this shit up, man. Fucking I like to end my podcast with the same question every time, so we'll run it. The question is, you can basically have any superpower in the world, but you need to make it up right now on the spot, and it's got to be original, something that you haven't heard before. Jeff, let's start with you.
Oh, God. The original?
Original.
Everyone's pre-stocked answer is always not that original. Mine is always teleportation because it's like
That's not original.
That doesn't count.
That's what we're saying.
original.
I got one.
You got to think you made it up right now. Anything, any power in the world. It could be something stupid and small, some kind of money-making scheme.
I wish I was black.
You had a superpower to be black?
Yeah.
You want to come have an interaction with the cops with me?
Sure.
Yeah, he just wants to put the difficulty up one more step. And just
Yeah, dude. Last time I got pulled over with a white friend, they were driving and they asked for my ID. So like,
That'd be, what if you could
Well, because
just...
I didn't have mine on me.
That'd be actually pretty cool. What if you could just turn into any race whenever you needed to?
Like a chameleon.
Yeah, you could chameleon into a different race. That'd be pretty
Could you
wild.
speak the language?
Anytime he came on stage as a black guy, I'd be like, "What is he gonna say tonight?"
Turn into Lil
Dude, it would be
Dicky.
pretty
like,
usable.
what's up with these white motherfuckers on stage?
I'm really from Philly tonight. Like,
And then my skin turns back white, and I'm just like,
Well, that'd be
you
kind
guys
of
like dogs?
that'd be hilarious. Like you're driving, you're fucking hanging out, being Black Jeff, and then like you get pulled over, and the cop
Hello,
walks
officer,
up to you.
How are you today?
Yeah, you just turn back to white, and the officer's like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?"
When Jeff goes black, his name's spelled GEOFF.
I like that one. See, that was a good one, dude. Nice.
Yeah.
This is definitely an interesting one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess if I could have any superpower, make people shit themselves on command.
That one has been said before, but you can have it. You can have it.
All right, fine. Then I'll change it. If I could have any superpower, like completely any that's like original, just my own,
Yep.
I would make people be able to lose control of their nervous system.
Interesting.
Because say I'm about to fight somebody at a bar or something, and I could just snap, and they're like, "Oh," and they fucking drop. I gotta do that once. All I gotta do is fucking one Thanos snap. Nobody will ever bother me again.
That's true. Yeah, good one. I like that. I fuck with that. Chad?
I'm just trying to think about my struggles. What do I struggle? Oh, you know what? I would
Become not autistic in a moment.
Yeah. Am I autistic? No. All right. Be able to control traffic, like completely. So like if I'm driving and there's a dude in front of me, he's just going too slow, and nobody will let him over. It's like, all right, you're moving back, you're slipping in there. I'm gonna go past you. Everybody else is gonna, like, I could part the Red Seas if I wanted to. Anybody that's like in front of me or like somebody won't let me in, I'm like, all right, you're gonna slow down so I can get in. That's how
Yeah.
that's gonna work.
That's a good one. I was gonna say, what's funny is mine was gonna be to just always to be able to just turn green lights. So you just but yours is way better and it's traffic related, so I'm gonna try to think of something.
Yeah, when I think of superpower, I think of something that could legit help in a dangerous situation.
Yeah, I would be causing accidents. I'd be like, and you're gonna rear end that.
Yeah, it
truck.
doesn't have
superpower
to.
is just a way to corrupt society.
Well, that would
in your
definitely
favor.
his would definitely protect him in a dangerous situation, depending on.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm not gonna lie. If I've had that thought before, where I like literally had a cop walking up to the car, and I'm like, oh fuck, turn white, turn white, turn white.
Yeah, it'd be helpful.
Yeah, just be able to just
Go,
look at
gadget, go.
Just scare yourself into pale white guy.
Yeah, just reach for my ID and feel
like-
safe. Like that would be fucking
You're like,
incredible.
if I just hold
And
my
you
breath
could-
long enough,
This would be even better.
be
Like
able
what
to swim for once.
if you could turn Chinese, but you could understand and speak Chinese too.
you
Like
just squint.
that would be
All
that'd
right,
be
if you
that'd
change
be
it,
dope.
if you were to change that to like being any ethnicity and understanding the language and stuff, that's actually incredible.
That'd be dope. Because then you like
That is an incredible.
Then you're never a
superpower.
stranger.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's the super. I can't beat that. I was like.
Assimilate.
I'm thinking my superpower would be like if I opened a bag of potato chips, they could be any flavor I wanted, no matter what I bought.
Ooh,
That is poor man thinking. That is.
Like you can buy the cheap big fucking bag and be like, these are about to be Cool Ranch Doritos.
That's actually a pretty solid one too.
Yeah,
Be
you're
able to
gonna die
control
young.
flavor.
Not bad. That's not a bad.
I mean, that's like kind of a Jesus water into wine.
This
thing,
is
you
my
know what I mean?
26th episode, so I've had to come up
Turn
with a
Cool
lot.
Ranch into nacho cheese.
Do you have like a notebook of them where you're just
Nah,
like, write a
I
bunch of superpowers? Like there's so many good superpowers that you could choose.
I've had a lot of interesting ones. One of the cool ones I came up with last time was, or another time was to be able to mix paint to the perfect color.
Yeah, that was a good one, dude.
Because it's really hard to mix paint and get the right color.
Can I
suck at painting?
redo mine? I think what's a better one.
Yeah, do it.
I want to be able to change my type of autism where it's needed.
Oh.
Yeah, so like if I need
crank
to
it up and like
so like if I'm going to the blackjack tables, I need to be able to fucking sit there and count how many toothpicks fell. Like I'm talking like be able to do that.
Crank it on the Rayman status.
Yeah, and then other times I just don't want to talk to people. I feel like it would be much better to be able to control the type of autism or how it affected me.
Yeah,
that would be a fucking good one.
I just like to see.
Because it's a spectrum, right? You have a dial.
I can literally dial it up and be like, all right, let's go nonverbal today.
I was just gonna say you go from completely normal to fucking like
Like my superpower is Irish goodbyes.
Oh, I love
you
doing
could just
those.
There's nothing more fulfilling than an Irish goodbye, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because sometimes I want to say bye to people that I like. That I'm like, all right, I love this person, but other times I'm also like, all right, everybody's having conversations. They don't give a fuck that I'm leaving. Why do they?
That's what I'm saying. Like, especially in the comedy circles, it's like, dude, I see you all the time. I'm gonna see you again.
Irish
like,
goodbye from a city.
Like we don't need to do this. We don't need to do this goodbye stuff. And speaking of that, goodbye, everybody.
Yeah. See you. I like being like just fucking. I like. No. I'll be right back.
Saves my soul.
Right out the back.